Booga booga bug. I have brushed my hair. That's about it for today. And we're back to, oh, you have a nice color hair. The style really does nothing for me. It's this part. When it's short, when it's like this short, it's fuller and it draws attention to my eyes. It just, I know I'm so lucky to have such a beautiful color hair, but it just bugs me. And yeah, the problem with keeping it that short is that I gotta go in so frequently to get it cut. It's that maintenance. I'm really frustrated by how not great it has turned out to be to live out here. So I got some new Chow-Goos. I was gonna replace these. I got a pair of 3.25s. They don't believe me that they weren't the 3.75s. Because these keep untightening. And then somebody's like, well, you could go up to a 4.0. Would it really make that big of a difference? Well, but I'm like this far in. Maybe once I split for the sleeves, then to switch would be, because I'm going to do some texture up here, or that's the plan. Maybe that would be okay, but I don't know. And then someone's like, well, use a gripper and do this and do that. Oh, geez. So here's where we're at. I'm at the end of my third skein. Going bottom up, and I'm not doing it real long, so I'm about here, so I'm still, I would say, at least 4 inches away from splitting for the seams. I think I only have 3 more skeins. Yeah, it could be tight. Oh, and then you want to see what happened when I was at church last Sunday knitting? Here. Oh, no, not that one. Not that one. This one. So I don't know how it happened, but somehow I got a few rows before I realized that at some point, in setting it down and picking it up and shushing children or whatever, so I'm gonna have to cut this, weave in some ends, and then I'll have, you know, a chunk of useless. So I've like wasted this much yarn. That just drives me nuts. And that's down here. I'm not ticking back for that. I'm not. Whatever. My son turned 16 yesterday. I'm Laura from TheYarnCloset in Southern Arizona. And I'm just so, can't even believe it. 16. So amazing. He's gonna take his test next week. He's nailed the parallel parking. So I think that was the big thing. And we're going out. I'm taking him and a friend of his for a pizza lunch today. And, you know, there's just been a variety of things. He hasn't wanted like one big thing. He's such a great kid. So easygoing. So all of you that follow me online know that last weekend we had snow in the desert at 5,000 feet, because that's where I'm at. The mittens that we have for my daughter are a little too small, so I started a new pair for next year, because we're now solidly in 70-degree spring. And I swear we had a good 1.5 inches. It looked more, but these are a nice wool content hand spun with some Tarhi sock, because that's a little bit toothier for the stripes. It's part of a sock tube that I had left over. So I just thought I'd throw in some color. My thumbs never quite look right. And I even did a nice gusset thumb, but my thumbs never quite look right. They never look quite long enough. I don't know. And now here's the deal. If the next one actually looks like this one and is about the same size, I'll be shocked and amazed. Because almost always when I do mittens, they look vastly different. And all I did here, instead of doing like hat decreases, I just did decreasing for a toe. And if my hand fits comfortably in it with a little space, then it'll be fine for her next year. She's a big girl, but she'll be in 4th grade. When I say she's a big girl, she is a big girl. She is supposed to be 6'1" when she's grown up. My 16-year-old is 6'3". My 29, almost 29-year-old is 6'10". What's going on in life? Oh, the ladies got their needles. I'm excited about that. I saw some new Chow Goo set that I'd never seen before. Something spin, so it made me think that the connection was one of those spin connections. I think that would be fabulous for me. I've had a crochet hook set for Tunisian that had that, and that was really good. And a wooden set that I really liked, but the needles themselves were too lightweight bamboo. I'm used to the clover bamboos that are a little bit heavier weight. So I broke a number of those. And when I go through my needles, now that I've downsized to what I actually use, I think about what I've got. I really have done a ton of socks and sock yarn weight things. So I've got an abundance of those needles. And not the super bulky stuff, but a few others. And I sit back and think of what I've used over the years, what I've done over the years, and where I'm at right now. I think it's great because of my disability, I'm legally blind. That does not mean I can't see. I can totally see, people. But I can see like the space of looking through a straw, a regular straw with some tissue paper over the end. So I can see pops of color, and then I have to think about, is the pop of pink over here scissors, or is it a marker? Is it the green scissors I have in this cup, or is that the one in my dining room? I've gotten a lot of criticism in the last few months about, you're not really blind, you can see. Well, if you'd like me to drive you to work today, I would love to do that. And let's see how that goes. Nobody, and I have known blind from birth people have gone blind in elderly times, at different stages of their life. Nobody goes around like this. You will see me occasionally put a hand out to catch corners of things because I bump into stuff all the time. Part of my shoulder issue and neck issue is from slamming into door frames too much in the early years of right before I was diagnosed. And then that struggle to get training to understand what's going on, because it's really a struggle. If you become crippled, there's a time and period where you're in the hospital and then they put you into physical therapy, and somebody from day one of that diagnosis is working with you to teach you how to be safe in your new body configuration. If you slowly over time go legally blind, so you still have some usable vision, and you still walk around like a normal person because you are a normal person. If somebody loses their hearing and they use hearing aids, they're partially deaf. That's what legally blind means. It means you have still some usable stuff. And there are very few people that are blind to the point of not seeing anything. Most even blind people, if they open their eyes at birth and grow up, even if their eyes look really weird, they can probably pick out windows, light sources. They can see some stuff, but you adapt. You're not going to tell a crippled person who needs to be in a wheelchair 95% of the time, but can park their wheelchair at night, walk to the bathroom, and get into bed. You're not going to tell them they're not crippled. And you have no idea the things that have changed in my life to accommodate my situation, to make it easier. My mom yesterday just swapped out. She's got very light colored kitchen cabinetry. So she just swapped out I think it's gold. I think they were gold. They were gold or silver. They were a light color knobs. She just swapped them out for almost black, that dark bronze, so that they stood out to her. And she can see less than I can. And here's the thing, we fake it a lot just to make people happy. She was trying to pick out colors to paint a cabinet, and I was trying to point to something on the piece of paper. And she thought I was pointing to just the big white open space. I'm like, no, that's just the big white open space. That's not a color. Here's what I'm gonna do to make it so you understand which page the color's on and which colors actually would work. Because she can't see color properly. She had her cataracts done, and God knows what happened, but she's never seen color correctly since then. She'll paint a wall purple and think it's green. She'll, a sage green, and it's actually a purple. She didn't even know that the countertops she currently has and has had for almost a year are a baby blue. She had no idea. So it's cold. It's still only like 40 right now, but it'll be 70 this afternoon, and I'll be sweating because I'm menopausal. What do you use to stop the sweat? I'm washing multiple times a day. I use the Lumi, but that's a deodorant. It's not an antiperspirant. I use various different antiperspirants, and none of them work all that great. I never sweat like this when I was younger. It's gross. I hate it. I will tell my daughter what to be prepared for in menopause. My husband was saying something the other day, and I said to him, look, here's the deal, dude. If your balls shriveled up and every man on earth went like bald back to here, lost half of his hair, and started crying just for no reason, gained 40 pounds overnight. Plenty of men gain weight. Yeah, they do, but they don't have this litany of like a dozen different things. And if you started going to the doctor and people just dismissed you, because you're of a certain age, or told you that if you just lost some weight and looked prettier, then you'd feel better. How many men would put up with going to the doctor if what the doctor said to them was, lose some weight, get some muscle, look more attractive, and you'll feel better about yourself? Would they put up with that? I don't think so. But here's the thing that I've been doing lately, because it's just so much easier. The child-proof. Well, I have children of an age I don't have to worry about that anymore. You can pop the child-proof part right off. You just push. And it's hard. It's not easy to do, but you push and you just push it and continue to push around, and it just pops right off. This one's actually from my vitamins, but here's my generic Tylenol. But yeah, and then it's just a regular twist on, twist off. I love that That makes it so much easier. So I was going to touch base on a few things today, follow up. So remember how I started the journaling on my phone? Okay, that was every day for over a month, and now it's 3 or 4 times a week. I don't think that journaling on your phone, unless you grew up in that totally, like my son doesn't like handwriting, but loves typing. So I think maybe he'd have the same benefit of journaling electronically. But I think that I need to start journaling, like actual handwriting to give it that same benefit. But there was such a huge thing when I was a child with my mom. Don't write anything down. Don't ever write anything down. You know? And also, like, don't leave this indelible thing that can be found and held against you. That makes it difficult to be online, but I've pretty much gotten over that. Although I'm not a big fan of the social medias, because you get lost and trapped in the pointless scrolling. And God, I just miss having a life where you had more actual activity. I just miss that. I went to lunch for the first time alone with my 16-year-old yesterday because he drove. And it was so nice. And I remember growing up, going out one-on-one with my mom. And that was it wasn't like an everyday occurrence, but it was special. And I think it's going to be nice. I'm going to have him drive and take me and my daughter when it's her birthday. So the 3 of us will go out for lunch. You know, me and the kids. People don't realize how different my raising children experience has been because I've had limited support. Thank God for the support I've had, but I've had limited support. Right now, based on the school my daughter goes to, I can't go on any of her field trips. Unless you are a driving parent and you're driving either your kids only, or you're driving your kid and some other kids. Like I can't go with a friend of mine who's driving their kid and then her drive me and my kid. Like I can't go because I'm this extra, you don't fit any place commodity. And I think they worry that they're going to have to worry about liability for me as a blind lady. Which is ridiculous. It is and it isn't. I understand that. But if I'm going with my girlfriend who's driving her own kid and the 2 of us are going to walk around with our kids, why can't I do that? Why can't my child enjoy the fact that their parent is there? It's kind of ridiculous. So there's just a lot of instances that I just, my experience has been very different. I can't just pick up the kids and distract them and go do something. And everybody's like, oh, but you've got a 16-year-old now and he can do all this driving and that's great. And one lady said to me last night, oh, but once my kids were driving, they were definitely helping out with the little ones. And I said, well, you have 5 kids. That's a little different. I have 2 at home. And I'm not going to make it be his responsibility. But if there are things he wants to do, like one day we did go to lunch, him and me and my daughter. Because there's not a lot of places to go near us in our town. There's very few restaurants. And my husband won't just drive 30 minutes to go out to eat. So, but my son would. So we did it because my husband was gone. And it was good practice. And so I'm trying to balance that whole experience out. I am absolutely grateful that we're at this stage of the game with the kids, because it feels good. You know, they're both old enough to be helping out around the house, getting into that next stage. It's crazy to be talking colleges, because my son is a junior. He'll be a senior next year and graduate when he's 17. So, you know, it's talking about that stuff and working towards it. And I'm excited for him. I really have enjoyed seeing who he's become. And I enjoy seeing my daughter as she continues to grow up. Thankfully, she is strong, because I was really nervous being a mom of a daughter. You know, it's hard to raise a girl, and a strong girl and a confident girl, with all the things that get thrown at them. And especially when you don't have a lot of support around you to kind of help. You don't have that village around. And I guess nobody does anymore, unless they really, really work at it, or they've got a lot of family around. You know, I don't know. But we are moving into spring. Puxtawny Pete? I don't think he was right this year. So thank you for participating in the giveaway. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day. I hope your February is going well. It can be a frustrating month depending on where you live in the country. And just hold on to those little feelings of spring that are coming through, if you're getting any of them. Look with your heart first, not your eyes.